a superstar. A player every team aspires to acquire or develop into. Rarely in the history of the NBA has a team been able to secure a championship without one, or sometimes even two or three for that matter. Superstars don't come often around in this league. In my opinion, there are only between 5 and 10 superstars in the league at any given time. For the Bulls, our last superstar was the hometown kid Derrick Rose, and prior to that, Michael Jordan. So we've had two superstars in the last 3 decades. Again, why getting a superstar is so incredibly rare. We potentially had one in Jimmy Butler, and we all know what happened from there after we traded him. And as a Bulls fan, we all await for the next potential superstar to appear on our team and lead us to championship number 7 of the franchise. So what's going on, everyone? You were listening to Bulls Central here. I hope you're all doing well. And guys, I know what you're thinking. Are you really going to be talking about Zach Lavine again? But I wanted to make this video because I was actually surprised with how many of you agreed with my thoughts on Zach Lavine in one of my prior videos, the video after the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And although there are still some who feel I am a Zach hater and that I don't know anything about basketball because of it, which is fine, I'm honestly all for differing opinions, and I do know that my takes and thoughts on Zach have always been a little on the harsher side. But I've said it before, it's because I have higher expectations of him than other guys. And based on all of your comments, as well as Zach's most recent comments to the media in his post-game interviews and Billy Donovan's comments to the media, there has been something, at least to me anyway, that I have found a bit concerning based on Zach's most recent comments lately on his late game mishaps. Now, I won't go into some of these mishaps because I feel like, I've gone into Zach in terms of criticizing his late game mistakes ad nauseum, especially just his general late game lapses in judgment. But I was able to catch some of his post game interviews after these games, and I'll share some of his comments actually right now, and then I'll give my thoughts on that.
Yeah, Zach, you just used the word folded. Would it be fair to say that you guys kind of let your foot off the gas when you got up big? And then Billy used the term home run shots, that when you guys did get up big, that guys were kind of going in the ISO ball and doing it themselves. Did you feel like that? Did you feel that in the middle of the game?
You can call it you want to, I don't know. Folded home run shots, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we just lost the game, so plain and simple.
But Zach, from your perspective as a player on the court, did you feel like guys were kind of taking it upon themselves, yourself included, in the middle of it?
I don't know, Darnell. It's ISO ball, turnovers, whatever you want to call it. We lost the game, so sure.
Now, that post-game interview was, of course, after Friday night's loss against the Thunder, and then in a post-game interview after the Clippers game, in which Casey Johnson asked him about his final plays of the game, in particular his last shot. And I'll throw up a tweet here as far as what he actually responded with. Zach says, "I got 10 threes. I'm going to try and come down and make a play. I got a clean look." He then proceeded to say, "I hit a lot of clutch shots last year. Gave us like 3 or 4 game winners last year. I have one this year with Golden State," which was not a game winner, by the way. "They came down, hit a good shot. I'm comfortable in those situations." Now, bear in mind, before I give my thoughts on it, bear in mind the media can be very annoying and pushy with their questions to try to get quotes and sound bites for their articles. So Zach's frustration with these questions is completely fair, especially after a brutal loss against the Thunder. But I think the thing that bothers me most here is it's Zach's lack of accountability. I know that Zach isn't the only one to blame for these recent losses, not at all. And granted, aside from, the end of that Thunder game, the Bulls have actually looked a lot better. But guys, Zach Lavine is the leader of this team. He's the best player on this team. And even if it isn't all his fault, the fact of the matter is some of it is on him. And he needs to acknowledge that and take responsibility as the leader of the roster. And I think it's telling that he doesn't, but rather shrugs it off and talks about what he has been able to do last year for the team. Now, to be fair, he did acknowledge in the last post-game interview, the game against the Thunder, that he did make some mistakes at the end. So it wasn't like he just blatantly didn't take any accountability whatsoever for the game and just blamed the team for everything. He then proceeded to say, "We just folded." But here's the thing, what we need to see from Zach as Bulls fans is for him to start taking ownership of not only his mistakes, but also his team's mistakes. If he wants to be a franchise player, if he wants to take that next step into being one of the best players in the league, he has to learn how to not only make himself better, but his teammates better as well. And it starts with taking full responsibility of your team. We always talk about Zach's decision making, his basketball IQ, his ill-timed turnovers late in game, his defense. And if that's preventing him from being the superstar player we need him to be, and well, yes, all of that still does need to be improved upon as well. But what sets superstars apart from the rest with their gifted athletic abilities is that they know how to make their teammates better and do what's best for the team in order to win as the leader of their squad. They take accountability for the team as a whole. And with Zach's comments, his hero ball antics late in the game, and even based on a lot of your comments in the videos who have been slowly feeling differently about Lavine's ability to be that number one option, I'm starting to doubt more and more his ability to be that superstar. I know that's already been apparent if you've been watching my channel for a while now, but I never really considered the overall leadership qualities from Zach Lavine when questioning his fit to be our guy that we build around. I've mainly just focused on his play on the basketball court, but there are obviously soft skills that need to be applied as well in order to be a superstar. It's not just the physical aspects of the game. I'm very curious to see how Arturas approaches this situation with Zach Lavine, either before the trade deadline or in the offseason. As we all know, Lavine's contract could have been extended and Arturas chose to hold out. We know that his meaning Arturas, his preferred style of basketball is heavy ball and player movement, which is why he hired Billy Donovan. And Lavine doesn't really fit that style of basketball, or at least what he does well in anyway. He's still a great player, guys. I know I've made so many criticisms of Lavine. Like I've said numerous times, he's our best player, but I just don't see him being a part of the Bulls' long-term plan given the timeline we're on as a franchise, and also the style of basketball the front office and coaching staff is moving towards. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though, what you're thinking, and if I'm way off base on this, let me know in the comments. Also, the Bulls are taking on the Mavs today. I'll have a live chat for that. Keep in mind, the stream is just for chatting during the game. I don't actually stream anything, and I'll try and come out with a post-game video as well later in the evening. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.